Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the LbertyBloc broadcasting journey, as always brought to you semi-live from Nevermind Where, USA. God bless our troops. Let's now send a special shout-out to my current subscribers, the MAGA and Maha sophisticates out there, my conservative compatriots, and of course those of you making your way to or back to the right side of the aisle. Now, of course, it is time to ring that spiritual LbertyBloc bell and kick off the show. At LbertyBloc supports the troops and the Iranian war effort, and we're rolling. I'll start with this. We should support the war effort, and we should support the men and women in uniform. Iran has been the state sponsor of terrorism and the enemy of the United States and the free world for nearly 50 years. They've negotiated in bad faith. They've sponsored terror. They've threatened our allies and pushed relentlessly toward a nuclear weapons arsenal. They have never wanted peace, not for 1 second. They wanted leverage and domination. They wanted to destroy the great Satan, the U.S., and blow Israel off the map. That was their goal. They said it over and over and over again. And now they're finally paying a price, as they should. Hopefully, God willing, regime change is at hand for the Iranian people. If we're going to go to war with Iran, I want overwhelming force if we use ground forces, particularly ours. Take a page from General Norman Schwarzkopf. Be overwhelming, hit hard, hit fast, and leave no doubt about the outcome. A wise philosopher once said, "The job of the American military is to kill people and break things." Mr. President, you of course have my support, but the nation needs clarity right now. Tell us what victory looks like. Define it. You've taken bold action, sir. Follow it up with bold statements. State clearly, for the record, victory is a destroyed nuclear program. Victory is a defeated Revolutionary Guard and a shattered terror network. Victory is regime change. Someone in Tehran we can at least work with, however that comes to pass. Our troops and their families deserve nothing less than a defined victory. They deserve to hear boldly and often that this war is just and we will finish it. That their sacrifice has a purpose, Mr. President. Appeal to the American people. Now, here's what the Democrat talking class, the leftist Looney Tune wing of the Democrat Party, many of them would be cheerleading the war if it was one of their guys in the Oval Office, or oral if you're Bill Clinton. Instead, we get lectures about a war of choice and talking points that sound like they were run through Iranian state TV. Dems, you cannot echo Tehran's mouthpiece and pretend to serve the American people. Stand up to the Looney Tunes fringe nutjob base and tell them all to go kick rocks and flip-flops. Support the troops and support the war effort. Stop treating Homeland Security as a bargaining chip. Drop the ICE smokescreen. ICE is funded, and a lot of what you ask for, dear Dems, has come to pass. Right now, the Democrats in Congress are willing to play chicken for funding Homeland Security and tie the president's hands while he has committed troops to finish a war that Iran started. DHS, TSA, and the Coast Guard, people that are guarding our airports, seaports, borders, and chemical plants, have been dragged into a political hostage situation by the Dems, D-I-M-S. That makes us less safe, period, paragraph. Iran has shown for decades that it is willing to strike allies' energy infrastructure and U.S. interests abroad. Does anyone seriously believe that they won't hit our homeland? The recent attacks on Americans were not just random incidents, they were coordinated terrorism. You cannot fight a serious enemy overseas and treat Homeland Security like an afterthought. Dems, oh Dems, you were right. This is a war. So fund it like one. Again, you'd be supporting these strikes if it were Obama, Biden, Harris, or Carter. Put away your TDS-inspired reactionary politics and fulfill your duty to the American taxpayer and our men and women in uniform. Secure the homeland like you actually give a rat's ass. Pay and equip those charged with protecting us. You cannot starve DHS, then act shocked when something bad happens, when something slips through. You cannot squeeze the Coast Guard and be surprised when someone uses our maritime lanes to probe our defenses. You cannot hold TSA and DHS funding hostage to left-wing immigration demands and still pretend you're doing everything possible to keep Americans safe. That's not strategy. It's theater. And you'll pay for it at the ballot box in November if it continues. Americans love a winner. Yes, today's battlefield is more complex than Desert Storm ever was. Nukes, missiles, proxies, energy disruption, cyber attacks. Fine. Complexity is not a reason to back down. It's a reason to be more focused and more ruthless against a regime that has no respect for human life, men or women, and no intention of coexisting peacefully with the West. This country will rally. We can come together when the stakes are real and victory is defined. Again, Iran had no interest in peaceful nuclear energy, not one little bit. So here's the promise we should make to each other as of this evening. Support the troops. Support a serious effort to break Iran's capacity to threaten us, and never stop calling out the political games of the left that make us weaker. Period. Paragraph. If we're going to fight, we owe it to every American in uniform and every American at home to fight to win. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I yield back the balance of my time. God bless all that defend this great nation, and God bless the USA. I'm out.